expect to spend like minimum $100 a person, especially if you're drinking.
Oh yeah.
But like worth it, like really worth it. Everyone had different things, and everyone was like, "This is some of the best food I've ever had."
This is the best, whatever category of that food is I've ever had.
Yeah, that was
that was the quote of the night.
Wifey Sauce tracked that place down. It was also like served everyone. He's like, oh,
is that me?
No, that's me.
Give us a break, guys.
Yeah, like Wifey Sauce is vegan. Were you eating vegan, or did you have fish?
No, I had
some seafood.
Yeah, fish.
So like whether you're just seafood or vegan or anything, like everyone had really good. Joe had like this massive 14-ounce ribeye. It was also really good. Guys,
good beer selection too.
I can turn the mics up just a smidge.
Go to Harvest at Bellagio. It's so good.
I don't want to peek though. No peeking. Not allowed to peek.
No peeking.
All right.
I think we should be live to both at this point.
We should be live.
So we can get on to it. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Awesome Hardware. It's been a while. This is episode 174, right where we left off. Nothing about the show has really changed, apart from... No, we're still late all the time.
It's 2019 now.
It's 2019, so there's a little difference there, but we're still going to be late on every stream. We're still drinking beer. Paul's got a nice Arrogant Bastard Ale from Stone. I'm slumming it up with a Bud Light Clamato Michelada because, you know, it's only been a couple days since we left. It's only been a couple days since we left Vegas. I'm still feeling pretty rough and raw.
Joe was
I'm feeling dirty.
Handling the chiladas in Vegas.
Yeah, he's my chilada brother. We bond over chiladas. But thank you very much for joining us. This is a live stream in case you're new here that Paul and I do every single Tuesday. Mostly every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream to both of our channels in two halves. Today, the first half is streamed to my channel, youtube.com/bitwit, and in about half an hour or so, we're going to switch over to Paul's channel, youtube.com/paulshardware, which you can find a link to the actual stream, his side B, in my video description. We also like to have a good time and try to sell you things.
Oh, yeah. That part.
We have lots of fun trying to get you guys to spend money on us, but you get some cool merchandise in return, so you can go to my store, bitwit.tech, for all kinds of things like shirts, hoodies, mugs, pint glasses, mouse pads, desk mats, and the list really goes on. Bottle openers, the like.
They're all very good things.
Everything is super top-notch quality.
Still got fidget spinners.
Except the fidget spinner. Fidget spinners apparently
How many
is
of
just...
these are left? There's like
I don't know.
3.
There must be like 1 or 2 left.
2 or 3 fidget spinners.
I'll be glad to see those finally gone. They've been taking up too much space on the site for a while.
My store.
Your store is paulshardware.net if you want to buy something from Paul's store. He's also got a variety of great things like his thumbscrew hoodie.
Black thumbscrew hoodie is a limited edition.
Limited
edition. So you know.
Yeah, looks good.
Everyone go buy it.
Very clean. It's cold. It's cold right now. Wherever you are right now, I bet you it's probably freaking cold. Go buy a hoodie. If you happen to buy anything, he's wearing one right now.
Yep.
Right. I like how it's like right on the upper tit.
I'm also wearing my.
What is that?
This is my Infinity War shirt that Joe got me.
Oh, Thanos. Yeah. Infinity War.
Yeah,
oh
yeah, Thanos.
Okay, cool.
Infinity War. Avengers. That shirt. Popular movie from last year.
That shirt is not available in either of our stores. That would be illegal.
That's true. It's not.
We'd be pulling a fat
I'm
soldier
wearing
boy.
it because Joe got it for me.
Oh, cool. That's a good gift from Joe. He knows your style. So if you guys buy anything from either of our stores, we'll yell Johnson at you at the end. That's how we do it.
Yep.
And apart from that, we have news to talk about. Was there anything I missed? It's been so long since we've done the show.
I think so. We don't have any sponsors for this episode, so that's cool.
Yeah, we're not making jack shit on this one.
I think we're straight. We're straight.
All right, let's dive right in then. I wanted to take things, I just wanted to keep it casual for my half. I wanted to start off with some of our favorites that we found at CES 2019 this year. It's still very fresh in our mind, the whole event.
Do I have a lower thirds for
all the cool tech that we found. I completely forgot to make one.
I feel like we've done a CES lower thirds before.
There probably is. I don't know how far back that folder you have goes.
Let's do 2015 recap.
Yeah, sure.
That's how far the folder goes back, Kyle. 2015 recap.
And yet there's none from CES.
We did a
even
recap.
We've done 3 CESs since
of 2015 on this show?
That must have been a long-winded segment for us to cover an entire year.
I know.
A single.
Oh, that's good beer.
No wonder we've never done it again.
Yes.
So I want to just mention a couple. I think we should just alternate, and I'll mention a product, and we can both talk about it, and then you'll mention a product, and we'll go back and forth for a little bit. Okay. I don't want to spend too long on it, but the first thing that I saw that I didn't actually see, because I didn't get a chance to visit their booth, was Razer and their Raptor 27-inch Quad HD monitor.
I saw their booth from a distance.
Me too, and I passed it a couple times, but just didn't actually have an appointment. It was too slammed. But this looked like one of the cooler things, probably in like our niche of tech space that I saw. You know, Razer has been coming out with some pretty cool products for the last few CESs, right?
Yeah.
They had that one modular PC that was just strictly a prototype and for the lulz, but this seems like it could actually come to market. You might actually
be able to buy it,
which piques my interest even more. And then there was like Valerie, which still no one's ever found the stolen prototype, and it seems like they're not going to, Razer themselves aren't going to follow up on that as a real product, but this seems like it could actually be something you could buy and put in your setup. So this is kind of interesting. It looks really nice. It's got a very like sort of non-traditional wide aluminum stand with base lighting, some RGB base lighting, of course.
What's this? Is this a
Chroma
cable?
RGB.
What
That's like a cable management system. I feel like each of those are different video. I'm not sure if they're pre-installed.
So if you had an HDMI and a power and a display port, they'd go through those.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, hopefully it's the right length, you know, the right fixed length or whatever that you're looking for.
You need like sweet green Razer cables now that probably cost like the same as Monster cables or something.
It's good marketing because you're like, now all my monitor cables are green. I should probably get other things, like other peripherals with green. Razer, what a perfect option.
Chat's pointing out it doesn't look like there's a VESA mount on the back here. I
think Razer wants you to use that stand.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of their deal.
But VESA mount's pretty universal, and
I agree.
It's not that hard of a thing to integrate. I feel like. I'm sure the engineers would have some explanation for like, oh, in order to make it do this, we had to not do that. Because doesn't it like folds down, right? You kind of fold down flat or
Looks
something?
like it, yeah.
Not that we have pictures of that.
I didn't get a chance to get hands-on with it.
Right.
But looks really nice. 144 hertz, 4 millisecond response time if you're using Pixel Overdrive, 1 millisecond with motion blur reduction, 95% DCI-P3 with HDR support, fairly wide color gamut there. Razor thin bezels, if I do say so myself. You can hardly see them on there, except for maybe the bottom one. And again, cable management in the back. $699 for this panel. $699, which I think is fairly competitive for a Quad HD 144 hertz IPS display these days. I should also mention it has FreeSync.
FreeSync, okay, so it's a FreeSync display.
Yeah.
Not a G-Sync.
Correct, and I feel
But now G-Sync will work with FreeSync displays. More on that on my half of the show.
G-Sync will work with FreeSync displays? You mean NVIDIA cards will work with?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yes.
As of today.
Yes, because you'll be talking about that on your half.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess that you know, there's a bit more flexibility here that with this product.
So I kind of wonder if they knew that the FreeSync G-Sync thing was coming, and that's why they were like, let's just make this FreeSync rather than
they probably did
whatever is required for the.
And G-Sync. You probably could get a FreeSync monitor with the exact same specs for cheaper than $699, but there is, of course, that sexy Razer aesthetic premium, I think, that's always stapled onto their products.
And if this is...
It is a very nice-looking monitor.
If this is one of the higher-end 27-inch WQHD IPS high refresh rate monitors, then that would be a higher likelihood that it would pass NVIDIA's rigorous G-Sync for FreeSync monitors testing process, which they go through.
Most likely.
So we'll have to see.
Yep, we'll touch on that later. And then the other okay, you want to do a product? Something that you found?
Sure, if it's something that I talked about. Oh yeah, of course there's Slipstream wireless technology.
You took a look at this briefly, yeah?
I did. I looked at the mouse. The thing that I was most impressed about this mouse with, honestly, was the price. It's $50. Mm-hmm. And it's like
you're talking about the Harpoon RGB, correct?
Yeah, the Harpoon with Slipstream.
Yeah.
Neither of those are.
It's the one in the background. That one. There it is.
That's it right there.
Yeah, $50.
$50.
And it's great for travel because it's kind of compact.
Yeah, it's got a real clean design, comfortable in the hand. It's on the smaller side, but that's it's portable and everything.
Yeah. Arm-on switches.
But yeah, arm-on switches. It just feels like a really premium mouse. $50 plus the wireless technology, which Corsair has developed. So it's RF based. It's not using some magic wireless technology that's never been used before.
Right.
It's just their own proprietary connection, which allows them to have sub 1 millisecond response time.
Yeah.
500 microseconds, actually half
Right.
of a millisecond.
And it's almost like a dual band connection, right, where they can almost frequency hop over the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
For more reliability and speed and performance.
So
and all that.
much in the same way. If you've ever looked at Wi-Fi trackers that go, and there's actually different bands that Wi-Fi can operate on. Some might be more crowded than others. So nicer Wi-Fi devices will jump between those to find less crowded the
frequencies.
Yeah, those crowded frequency. This will do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how many different ranges it has to switch between. Excuse me, but it has pretty good battery life, up to 60 hours of life on a single charge. That's on Bluetooth. Bear in mind, you will have less battery life if you are using the Slipstream technology, because that response time requires more constant communication, so it's going to eat up the battery a little bit faster.
Right. If I'm gaming on a plane in the next 2-3 years, I'm using this exact mouse. If I'm gaming on a plane or any compact, just travel space, need something compact.
Presumably, it's FAA, kosher and everything as a wireless device. I'm not sure.
Oh. I don't know. That's a good question.
Turn off. Does it have an airplane mode? Of course, you can still plug it in. It's got a.
Sometimes I don't even turn my phone on.
It's got a USB cable that it connects up to, so you can just use the USB cable to plug it in too. So
that's nice too.
Seems like a nice full-featured premium Corsair mouse with multiple wireless functions. I like the Bluetooth connectivity too, because sometimes you just want a mouse to connect to your laptop and you don't want to plug in any dongles or anything like that. So connect via Bluetooth. Bluetooth is not good for gaming. Sure. Bear that in mind.
Speaking of the dongle, the Slipstream technology allows you to connect multiple Slipstream supported devices to a single dongle. I believe the one that this one comes included with, you can connect up to 2, but they're actually going to be releasing this, implementing this wireless technology into other peripherals like headsets and keyboards, and those will, since there's more data, especially with headsets, since there's more data being transmitted, larger data sets, they're going to require larger dongles, but they'll also be able to connect more devices. So I think you'll be able to connect 3 Slipstream devices to one of those. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And supposedly, with Slipstream, you're supposed to get closer to a wired mic type of voice quality, even though it's all wireless. So we'll have to see about that.
It's interesting to see that applied to voice communications as well, where the quality becomes slightly more important than the speed.
Right. But, yeah. And the range as well. The range is supposed to be increased as well.
And I will say, I don't mind a larger size dongle.
Neither do I.
I've never minded a nice thick dongle, because I'd rather have the.
Depends on how you use it.
If the size is going to improve the connection, or make it so that if I put it behind, if I set something behind a laptop screen or something it's not going to suddenly cause interference or something like that.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, that's the Corsair.
Slipstream.
They had a few other mice. Slipstream, specifically the wireless technology that the Harpoon uses, and yeah, $50.
$50. Next up, we have the Asus ROG Matrix 2080 Ti with a built-in AIO cooler. This is the very first CES I did not go to the Asus booth for. Didn't even go to Asus.
Really?
Didn't even go. I told some people that, and their minds were blown. How could you not go to Asus? But you went to Asus. You saw this card in person. I had to live vicariously through all the videos, and I thought, oh, if there was one thing I wanted to see at the Asus booth, it was this card. How was it?
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because I completely did a double take on it. I went. They showed me the card. I immediately assumed, oh, it's another Poseidon.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Asus Poseidon cards, they have air cooling, and then it's got a water block integrated, so you can connect up an all-in-one, or you can connect up a custom water cooling loop to it and water cool it too. They were sort of explaining this to me. I was like, oh, okay, they did this, and then I got to a point where I was like, wait, hold on. You mean the radiator and the pump and everything's all included in this? It's an all-in-one GPU liquid cooler that's also built into the shroud of the GPU itself, which is still not ridiculously huge. It's a big card.
It's triple slot.
It's triple slot, but
that's still they're triple slot air coolers.
Yeah, considering everything that they got going on in there, Hexus has their own embedded player. That's very old of them. I just wanted a close up of the card. There it is. But anyway, yeah, it's a cool looking card, clean looking card. They also had the GPU plate, the actual cold plate that they're showing. Just the comparison, it's a much wider one, a much larger one.
Oh wow!
That's it right there.
A lot of surface area there.
More surface area. It's wide enough to go and cover the memory modules as well as the GPU.
Nice.
So yeah, you can see.
That's cool. It covers the memory too. Slow zoom, slow pull.
Pull focus there. All right. But the Matrix itself, it's got all the 2080 Ti specs, CUDA cores, nice boost clock. It's like when a card like this, you look at the boost clock 1815, and you're like, well, that's kind of minimum, right? That's your starting off point, because you should be running this much higher than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a really cool accomplishment from ASUS and the design and engineering going into this. They said they've been working on it for like 2 years. So well done.
That's awesome.
We got to get it into the hands of some independent reviewers and stuff like that. But
yeah.
They said it is on par with linking up your GPU to a 240 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler.
That's a bold claim that I hope
a bold
is true.
Claim,
but
and I'm sure there's some specifics there, but even if it's close to that and being all contained, that's still pretty cool. So yeah, like it almost made me when I went to EVGA and they're like, oh, here's the Kingpin.
Yeah.
And the Kingpin with all the power delivery and stuff. And the Kingpin, to be fair, they're kind of also assuming that, when Vince actually uses it, he's not going to use the cooler that they made there with the all-in-one. But I'm looking at the Kingpin, I was like, oh, it's got this cooler. This 120 millimeter rad hanging off of it. I mean, is that really necessary now? In 2019?
It looks so dated now,
really
right?
Need that?
So 2018.
That said, take the coolers off of both of these cards, and then I would be very interested to see this card versus the Kingpin, sort of in an overclocking competition. But we'll leave that to Jay and Steve, I guess.
Yeah, so they battle it out to death.
Because I don't think I'm getting one or two of either of these.
Probably not.
Either of those. But cool. Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool product.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Gigabyte Aorus monitor that I actually did get a chance to try out.
Oh yeah.
The Gigabyte Suite.
In their darkened cave.
Yes.
Of a room.
Yeah. It reminded me of one of those like film room, like film caves, like that they have on set so they can like color correct live while they're shooting and stuff. It's just completely blacked out.
And I asked him, I was like, do you have any of these monitors out where there's light, so I can actually
see what it
look
looks
at
like?
it? And like, no.
Still a prototype, maybe?
To be fair, they're doing it so that, you're in a darkened area, so the monitors, you're looking at what's on screen more. That's why they did it. But
less
it's
reflections.
Not conducive at all for
better color.
For making videos of the product.
Yeah. Especially when you can't show off like the 10-bit color that it has, or like is it 98% DCI P3?
This one is not 98. This one was 92.
Oh, 92.
Or the only one that was 98 that I saw actually was LG's, and those aren't coming out till Q3.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's listed on this one.
Somewhere between 90 and 95% DCI P3.
Yeah, so good color.
Which is also really good. And then it also had, so just for the record, 24-inch, 1440p IPS, 144 hertz, all the specs that you're looking for in like a really good 16:9 gaming monitor, high end. But I think the thing that stuck out to me most were two things: the OSD, which is crazy. The OSD kind of functions almost like a software or just a regular program in the OS, where you can like drag and drop. You can drag the actual screen, the OSD, around your monitor, around the screen, and it's super intuitive. Like you don't have to fiddle with any of the hardware buttons on the monitor itself.
It's also super cheating.
It's super cheating because it's got like aimbot built in.
It's all done in the firmware on the monitor, so there's no way to software detect what's going on.
Exactly. You can create like a crosshair overlay, like a reticle overlay if you wanted to, in any design you want. There's like built-in counters. I mean, it's a very sophisticated
aim stabilizer.
Right.
Yeah, that's not cheating, Gigabyte. But yeah,
that increases like the perceived like smoothness or sharpness of the motion on screen as well.
Yeah, you got a crosshair with a bunch of those that you can put on there, and then there's on-screen stats. Did you see them demo that? You're supposed to be able to show like frame rate and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's almost like MSI Afterburner OSD, right? Like the overlay there. Everything's hotkeyable. You can assign your own hotkeys just for all the functions. It's super easy. But yeah, they have like GPU temp, CPU temp, clock speeds, everything you can just bring up on display, and like you said, like Paul said, completely hardware based. So it's it won't get detected by any of your software programs, and it's also gonna reduce the amount of system resources that are required to run it.
Yeah, like the most unique feature for me was probably the noise canceling thing.
That was really cool.
But it was also like sort of a weird thing where you're like, aren't there headsets that are kind of designed to do that? Like what? Like the monitor doing it you got to pipe all your sound through the monitor to do that.
True.
I don't know.
I think that's why they were demoing it with like a crappy pair of earbuds or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So it's like, you don't need to have that technology built into your headset. The monitor will do it for you.
It is 95% of the DCI
95.
P3 spectrum.
Yeah.
I remember that I had put that in my video description.
And this is $100 cheaper than the Razer panel. $599.
That's a good price.
I don't know.
It's a good price.
I think I'd pick this over the Razer one.
Hey there, hero.
I think the Razer one looks cooler, but this one just has more cool tech built into it. And then the last thing that I want to talk about here for CES that, of course, caught us all by storm a little bit was the AMD Radeon VII. And this is a perfect transition into our next segment, which is the rumor mill, because we can talk about the card while we discuss the latest rumors that just surfaced today at the same time. So this is an article from WCCF Tech, where better to get rumors from. AMD's Radeon Vega 7 is rumored to have less than 5,000 units made globally. Confirmed to also have 64 ROPs as opposed to the 128 that it was originally speculated to have. Botched FP64 compute compared to Instinct M150. So this was originally a rumor that WCCF Tech had taken from Tweaktown. So what better rumor for WCCF Tech, the rumor site of all, to take from than the second rumor site of all time, Tweaktown. So I would just rather go to WCCF. I just linked WCCF Tech because they don't have a bunch of shitty autoplay ads on their site. So less than 5,000 units made. Each card would be sold at a loss, of course, because they're just repurposed Instinct M150 parts that could have been sold for a lot higher to the HPC market.
But if they're not fully functioning Instinct GPUs, then aren't they just sort of making money out of what would have otherwise been a GPU that they had to scrap?
I guess it depends on how, like, if they actually nerfed it, or if they just, the silicon came out that way and they couldn't sell them as those Instinct cards anyway. I guess it just depends. Are we getting nerfed cards that were manually nerfed by AMD, that they just manually disabled it, or were these just like lower quality wafers that came off that they're like, well, we can't. How are we going to repurpose things?
The main reason you do, or the thing you'd look at and be like, these must be Instinct chips. These clearly weren't designed for pure gaming purposes. Is the fact that it's got 16 gigs of HBM2 memory,
right?
Which
no game needs.
Yeah. It's nice
game.
to have it there,
sure,
for sure, and like it kind of makes it really cool as a crossover card. If you're really going to do some GPU compute stuff that's heavy on the memory bandwidth or needs a lot of memory, then this would be a great card for you, especially if you game at the same time.
Right.
Especially if you got a FreeSync monitor. I mean, that'd be super sweet.
Yeah. It's like a Threadripper CPU. Who needs 24 cores? It's definitely not designed for gaming, but it can. It can game.
So nerfed compared to an Instinct card, but an Instinct card costs what, $1,500? I don't know.
I don't know the price, but it's a shit ton more.
I never paid that close of attention because they have no use for me. But,
these are $699. The Vega Radeon 7.
$699, right?
I want to say $699.
I think that's right.
So I think you're right. I think the Instinct card that you're talking about is probably around double. Ballpark.
Yeah. $699, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems like they might be cutting a loss here, and they are definitely catering it to both content creators, workstation professionals, and gamers simultaneously, which is interesting. I guess that's, maybe they'll sell more units that way. It's a marketing thing. But the other thing that leads us to believe that they might only be selling 5,000 units is that this card's reportedly not going to have any custom boards, custom models. There's going to be no add-in board partner interference or relations there. So it's basically just going to be this card, the way it looks, reference design from AMD, and nothing else. Which, if you're only selling 5,000 units, I mean, that's nothing. It'll sell out in an hour after launch. There's really no point in having custom models. So
that's what I heard from AMD too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard it from an actual AMD rep and stuff. So that definitely.
Because I was asking, that's always the first
there.
question when you see a reference design for a graphics card. You're like, oh, are there add-in board partner cards?
Right.
Are you expecting them soon?
Yeah.
Is there going to be a delay?
Right.
And the answer was probably not happening. And I was like, oh. that's different.
Yeah.
That's unexpected. And that's when I started, getting the gears
together.
rolling. I was like, all right, maybe this isn't exactly
what you think it is.
a card that, normally you have a card
Long-term.
like this, like, here's the Radeon 7, and then here's the, Radeon 5, or whatever they're going to do, and have the cut-down version of it or something like that, and make different product lines and have
Right.
add-on-board partner versions.
Right.
Doesn't seem like what they're doing with this card. This
Right.
is a limited run, special card, and whether that's valuable to you or not, you can make that decision for yourself, or you can stick around for my half when we're going to poll your opinions on it. Look at all these tie-ins to the first and the second half.
It's like
I know.
what a web we weave.
It's brilliant.
So I think the reason why they might have launched this or announced this at CES and why they did this whole Radeon 7 thing in the first place was to kind of maybe offer a stopgap between their production cycle to sort of challenge NVIDIA's high end. Just a little bit, just temporarily until they can get more 7nm products up and running for real and actually create them and manufacture them in volume. Because they're still clearly they have a ways to go there. But I think AMD's been feeling the pressure on the GPU side from NVIDIA, obviously, because NVIDIA now has almost lapped them with the 10 series and now the RTX family, whereas AMD is still kind of just resting on these year-old RX Vega cards as far as the high end goes. That's all they really have to show, and I feel like CES is sort of that event where people are gonna, companies are gonna announce their best tech moving forward for the year. And I think even though this was a limited run and AMD knew that, they wanted to have something to somewhat challenge NVIDIA to let the masses know, hey, we're still in the game, we're still planning to stay competitive in some way, even if this is just a stopgap type of product. I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see how these perform, if they are more geared for gamers or for workstation or if they're somewhere in between. Anantech's Ryan Smith, however, did confirm in other news that these cards will ship with 64 ROPs, rasterized operations per second, not the alleged 128 ROPs that were being reported a few hours after the card got announced, because 128 ROPs is what the Instinct M150s ship with. So a lot of people were actually excited when they first thought that there would be 128 ROPs on board, because that would be a really good, that would make this card a really good option price-wise for the compute space. But we're learning now that that is definitely not the case. It's been confirmed and blah, 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 blah. So it has been nerfed in ways that don't just affect gaming, but the sort of compute and workstation space as well. Let's see. AMD CTO Mark Papermaster. I always like saying Mark Papermaster. Papermaster. It's a cool last name.
It's like a wizard.
It's I think of the Page Master.
Yeah.
From the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Good old Lloyd. Confirmed that more 7nm products will release in 2019. That's exciting. 7nm is very much due. AMD's been twiddling around with 14nm for several years now, so finally more 7nm products are on the way. It'll be interesting to see if they're just going to replace out all of the Polaris-based Vega cards like RX 570 and RX 580, and they're just gonna kind of clean out the entry level and mid range, or if they're gonna attack the high end market and try to stick it to NVIDIA with some really hard-hitting cards.
Just to clarify, you threw a Vega in there, and I don't think.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think you meant
Polaris.
Polaris. Just Polaris.
Just straight Polaris.
Yeah.
Yes. It'll be interesting. I hope because I feel like we already have enough mid-range cards. I would like more competition in the high-end space, because NVIDIA RTX cards are getting seemingly just more expensive because they can. Although the RTX 2060 has launched for around $350, so that's
Today.
Yeah,
Also launched today.
pretty exciting.
So much going on today.
Yeah, are we gonna be talking about that on your half? RTX 2060 at all?
No.
Okay,
I mean, I'm going to point out that it launched today, so
so yes,
it'll
Somewhat.
be a sequel to what I just said,
perfect. Can't wait.
with more vigor.
Can't wait for the follow-up. All right, next rumor that we have.
What is this?
I mentioned this is the rumor mill, right?
9990XE?
Yeah, 999, and just keep saying 9 for a while. The i9-9990XE, 14 cores.
Wait,
There's an article from WCCF Tech.
What?
Yeah,
The
right. 9980XE
9980XE
has more cores, and yet it's skewed lower in terms of nomenclature than this processor. Why would they do that, Paul? It's because this one clocks higher, which makes things infinitely more confusing to the end user and the reviewer. So yes, the current 9980, sorry,
is an 18 core processor.
Is an 18 core, but it's slower than the 9990XE, which has fewer cores but is faster. So it's very. Stay with me. Stay with me.
They should have called it the 9980XE. No, because the 9940, right?
Well, the 9940
is a 14 core.
Yes,
so
that's correct.
The 9940X
plus
super clocked or something like that.
Super clocked.
Just like don't take.
No, it's really stupid.
What loose semblance of a naming scheme you have that
really
people
dumb.
can sort of follow and throw it out the window, just to try to pretend like you're coming out with a higher end processor, even though it's only got 14 cores. Because let's face it, they're probably like, we want to come out with a 5 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz? We want to come out with a 5 gigahertz high-end desktop processor, and the 14 core was the best they could do to hit that frequency in any sort of volume that they could sell it as an individual product.
Right.
And then because marketing is stupid, and marketers are like, well, it's new, it's going to have a higher number.
Yep, exactly. No one's going to buy it if it's going to seem like a lesser chip. But
irritates the crap out of me.
It does.
And it honestly, it dampens my initial impression of what I would be like, oh, 14 core processor running at 5 gigahertz. Like, let's focus on that.
Yeah.
No. Instead, I'm focused on the stupid
marketing names.
Name.
Yeah.
All right.
It really is dumb.
What else?
I completely agree with you, Paul.
About this processor?
It still has the same PCIe lanes, 44 PCIe lanes. Still supports DDR4 2666.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be better at gaming and some workstation loads that favor clock speed. Sure. Why not?
That is amazing. I would never have expected that.
No joke. It does have a much higher TDP than the 9980XE because of that faster clock speed. So it's got 90 watts over the 9980XE at 255 watts of TDP. So make sure that your motherboard, if you're going to be buying one of these things, of course, is planned accordingly to be able to handle that additional power delivery.
And your cooler.
Your cooling solution should be amazing.
Maybe get one of those
360 at least, I would say.
One of those Enermax TR4, or not the Enermax Liquid Tech 2s.
Oh yeah, the Liquid Tech 2s are really good.
500 watt dissipation.
Those are really great units. These CPUs will be sold to system integrators.
Get the 2. Now, don't get the first version. First version.
There were some issues with the first.
It was prone to catastrophic failure, from my understanding. The 2, they fixed
really
that,
did a number on the 2. So CPUs, these CPUs, so it may not matter. It's still going to matter. The CPUs will be sold to SIs mainly, or custom OEMs, PC OEMs. Okay. So retail availability will be slim. I was going to say that makes it a little better because then people won't get confused. But people are still going to be looking at the specs of pre-builts. Yeah. They're still going to be looking at, what CPU does this SI system have over the other. So, yeah, it's just, it's exactly what you said. So they were around the meeting, like, it needs to be a higher number.
It's a binned and overclocked 9940X.
Basically.
For $700 more. Is this an official price, 2,000, or is that a...
That's a speculation. I mean, this is all rumor mill that we're in right now, so this is all rumored. But yeah, we're going to estimate around 2,000 for now, which is about the same price as the 18 core.
Does oh gosh, I'm having a brain fart. The Hero, calm down. Mommy will be home very soon. CPU lottery. Silicon Lottery.
Who? The 14 core?
No, the company, Silicon Lottery. They
oh, right.
They bin CPUs, and they'll sell you CPUs that are guaranteed to overclock.
Yeah, then maybe you can get a 9940X.
How much do they sell a binned 9940X?
That can hit 5
because
gigahertz.
That is your bargain 9990XE.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's absolutely true. They're beating Intel at their own game.
Yep.
Potentially, depending on what they're selling it for. All right, our last rumor of the day is a juicy one. Apple's chip guru Johnny Strauji, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, someone correct me if I'm wrong, reportedly is on Intel's shortlist for CEO candidate.
Oh.
This is an article from Business Insider, but everyone's been talking about it. Just to give you the sort of current situation, it's been about 6 months since Intel had an active CEO. Their former CEO, Brian Krzanich, resigned after the company investigation found he was having an affair with an employee, which is a big no-no for execs and managers of the company.
It was consensual.
It was consensual, but still an affair.
Still no-no.
He's a married man. Krzanich! If only Krzanich could keep it in his pants, we wouldn't be having to talk about this article today. Rumors have followed Bloomberg's report that several talked about candidates are no longer in the running, including former Motorola CEO Sanjay Jha and 2 former Intel executives, Anand Chandrasekhar, Qualcomm president, and Renee James. It looks like Srouji is now in the running for sure. He's in the top 2, top 3 running candidates at the moment. Now, Apple's Srouji leads the company currently in their in-house chip development, which is a pretty big role. And it's caused Apple to withdraw even more of its business away from Intel. So Intel's probably looking at this guy going, hey, if we hire this guy, then maybe he can strengthen our relations with one of our biggest customers, which is Apple, and they won't pull away from us, because there's been a lot of speculation that Apple's actually planning to pull completely away from Intel and be completely self-sufficient with their own CPUs.
Kyle, you're clipping a little bit according to chat.
Sorry, I just get very excited about this stuff.
I wanted to do a more in-depth audio tuning pass-through before we started today's show. Did not have that opportunity, but at least you can hear us, right? As long as we speak in measured voices, I think it's fine.
I'm either adjusting audio on a mixing board, or I'm
Tune in Tokyo.
Or I'm pinching someone's nipples.
Tune in Tokyo.
There's no in between. All right, so it could be a really big win for Intel if they can land this massive, giant Apple chip designer. Now, if Apple abandons Intel anyway, Srouji may have what it takes to help Intel push through its manufacturing hurdles. But, believe it or not...
So that probably clipped when you said but.
Sorry. But I'll try to be more reserved. Sorry, the Michelada's doing a number on me. This Srouji guy may be out of Intel's league. How could you possibly be out of Intel's league? Couldn't Intel just say a number and Intel's like, yeah, I'll just pay you that, that's fine. Done deal. But apparently not. When this guy was promoted to Senior VP of Hardware Technologies in 2015 at Apple, Apple gave him $10 million of restricted stock that vested over 4 years. And right before that 4-year mark, before that money was about to fall into his pocket, Apple doubled down on his offering. So this guy landed $24 million in total compensation in 2017. Thank you for compressing me, Paul. Which is more than CEO Tim Cook took home in the same year, with a measly $13 million. So, your move, Intel. If you really want this guy, you gotta shell out the big bucks. Apparently, 24 mil. Not a bad year's salary for.
It's a very Apple photo he has there too.
It's full white background.
Yeah.
Like a headshot.
Apple marketing lives in a universe where there's just nothing. It's like a universe of nothingness,
Yeah, right.
just white.
It's like you're dead.
There's only
Everyone's
light in the void.
It makes sense. They trademarked their clean design. It's like an infinite amount of cleanness, and a lot of white paint. So I don't know. That's it'll be interesting to see if they actually scoop this guy up, if they can serenade him with the right check amount, or if he's going to tell him to suck it.
It says he's worth $24 million, so
it's pretty penny.
About on par with us.
I was runner-up.
Right? That's what I got for... Guys, the new mics... See, now I'm peeking. Now I'm totally peeking.
Now you're peeking?
I don't know.
I'm glad it's not only me.
The peak light isn't coming up.
What about on an XSplit?
XSplit has always looked low.
Check.
You can never trust XSplit.
That's true. Why is it green on the right of your...
What? Where?
No, on the little meter.
This?
Yeah, it's green on the right.
Up here?
Yeah, mine's not green.
Because you can in XSplit you can go in and you can tell it what the max volume can be. So you can tell it it's 130% or 200% or something. And that again goes back to I need to go and do a start to finish process of the sound here with testing and everything. There's sort of a procedure for doing that.
Right.
I have not done that, and I've also switched back and forth because I only have 2 phantom-powered inputs here, and both of our lav mics go into that. Now suddenly it seems really loud. Why am I so loud all of a sudden? Check. All right.
Peking duck.
Yeah. Well, doing my best.
We'll just talk
Yeah.
about it here.
So
We'll serenade you.
So could have done that, but everyone wants us to start on time. We get a bunch of crap like, oh, everyone's late.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, people.
My bad.
We're only human. But that's all from my half.
I'm gonna trust Metal 6 Maniac says I only peaked once, so should be fine. Should be fine.
That's what she
All
said. Yeah, I'm done. So it's your turn.
All right, cool. Thanks for that, Kyle. We're gonna cut off Kyle's half. We're gonna continue on my half in just a minute. I'm gonna pet the dog in between.
If anyone wants to do timestamps in the comments.
Oh, we love you. We love you, timestamp makers.
Arigato. Arigato.
Thanks, guys. We'll be right back.
All right.